high venters. Did you guys hear about this TBorn?
So while I'm on the TBorn, right, and it is so refreshing and like such a good feeling to not have anybody to post to get information about. Like I am just at peace and loving it.
So check it out. There's this app where women can go on there. I guess men aren't allowed. They're not allowed to post videos, but they are allowed to post stories about different men that they've dated. And then what they do is they give you a red or a green light next to that man's information, so that if you're contemplating dating this guy, you'll know if he's worthwhile to move forward with. Here's the only problem. Could you imagine if you were given some sort of social credit score, but it wasn't by your debtors or people that you have good relationships with? It was based on a score given you by your exes? I mean, does that sound like a shitty place to get a credit score from? You know, your good friends are gonna say, hey, down to earth, reliable guy, you know, really good person, give him a chance, green light, right? Your exes are probably gonna give you red lights. And if they do give you a green light, you have to ask yourself, why are they your exes then? Does that make sense? No one's gonna give you a green light unless they want you to go out with some goober, and everyone that has a red light, it's because they were jealous. Now, I had heard that this app had like 1 million downloads in the Apple App Store. God, that's a weird tongue twister. Did I say that right? Anyway, they had like 1 million downloads from only women, right? But then I heard last night that it got hacked.
If you are using the TBorn, you need to stop right now. The data leak that people reported this morning is actually way worse than what the headlines say. Everything I'm about to share, we figured out with like 20 minutes of research, so this could actually get way worse. Like your private messages, information, etc., could just be everywhere. This morning, somebody says TBorn breach exposes 72,000 selfies, ID photos, like actual driver's license. And just to be clear, this wasn't a hack. Nobody hacked the app. All of this information is available on publicly accessible Google Firebase servers. So anyone technical could go in and get any of the verification photos.
How scary is that? Here's the thing that doesn't make sense. People think that someone's ex is going to give you good information about them. I could see to that leading to jealous women finding out where you live and then coming and taking revenge on you. Another thing that's kind of gross about it is, technically speaking, that's like 2 or 3 people that you're trying to reach out to, maybe even more, that have slept with the same guy. The app has a mission statement. Their mission statement says that it's for women to date safe by asking the question, are we dating the same guy? If you're having to ask strangers if you date the same guy, that is disgusting. Why would you care if there's a red or a green light? What you should be asking is, are you disease-free? There are some parts of the country where the STD rates are so high and so rampant that it's like you almost want to date a virgin. And I know nobody wants to date a virgin, but you guys know what I mean. Women really freak me out nowadays. And I don't mean like, oh my God, Jesse's afraid of girls. No, I'll never be afraid of girls. But women freak me out from the standpoint of, what happened 20, 30 years ago? Before the internet, I'm telling you, girls did not get around so easily and so well. I can't believe it. It just makes, I can't blame people for not wanting to get married. As a matter of fact, that's one of those things where the walks have actually changed my mind. You guys know as well as I do, I'm always talking about the virtue of getting married and we need to have kids. Now I'm thinking there's a cliff ahead of us and we're just running towards it. And we're just gonna fall off the edge, because how can I honestly tell a guy that's, you know, maybe in his 20s to try to get married when women are all willing to share the same dude? It just seems so dirty and gross to me. Does anybody else feel that same way?
All right, yeah, so I know this TBorn is popping right now. I just downloaded it, so I'm waiting to be approved. But did y'all know that the guys have one called TBorn?
And as far as that TBorn app, fellas, do not follow the ladies' footsteps, okay? We are not them. We don't play by the same rules, okay? You fuck around and go post your girl in there to see if she did some shit, and some shit gonna get done to her, okay? We are polar opposites. The girls is doing it to warn each other. We doing it to find that information. The shit is turning us on, okay? Because what do you mean shorty's a hoe when she was sucking the first night? She was sucking the first night? Let me get her email, because I'm not gonna lie. I'm asking for me. I'm asking for me.
You know, when I was growing up in the 80s, I looked forward to that day in the future where I would get married to just an absolute princess of a woman. Name me any princesses that are out there. Oh my God. Let's hear what one review said. This is from one of the actual T users.
Let's read one of the reviews. The streets is talking. Okay, so boom. I tried the T app and I love the idea of it. It's basically Yelp for exes. You get to see what people say about the person you're thinking about matching with, and listen, that's a game changer for the girls who are done wasting time on smooth talking liabilities. What's it giving? Real feedback from real people. Like, why wasn't this around during my toxic era? It's messy, but informative. Perfect balance of girl don't do it, and he might actually be solid. But to take it over the top, video post receipts like a 1-minute clip max. Imagine being able to watch a little 60-second clip of the culprit in action. So she's talking about all they need to do is add 60-second clips of the person. So I'm assuming they're videoing them without their consent. Not the greatest idea. Probably why it's not part of the app, because that would be illegal in a lot of states. Whew, receipts. The tea would be piping hot and way easier to trust than just words on a screen. Even she knows these words on a screen are a little sketchy. Downsides. Not enough users in some cities, so it's a little dry if you're not in a popping area. Some folks clearly not over it and just venting, but that's the part of the fun if we're being honest. So she's admitting people are just, kind of just venting about their exes. Super useful information. But this is the IT app, and it's up and stuck, period. It's a solid app if you're tired of dating blind.
I just got sent a screenshot that I'm on there, and honestly, it's not bad. Like, I got 200 green flags and 0 red flags. His music is so good, and he's actually really sweet and sexy and thoughtful. You should date him. So yeah, I don't know why you guys are freaking out.
I would want to know if I was a woman and I was potentially going to go on a date with a real creep that was doing really dastardly things that could be dangerous to my health, right? I would want to be warned. But what about people that lie? Sometimes when a guy breaks up with a girl, the girl can't accept it, and she goes out of her way to run a smear campaign on that guy. Supposedly, they're able to leave reviews of a person anonymously. What if somebody did this and never even dated you? There's absolutely no way to prove it. It's pretty much just a place to talk gossip. Whether it's true or not doesn't matter. Could you imagine if you were actually set up to go on a date with the girl of your dreams, and then you found out you had some bad score on this T app? That hardly seems fair, especially if there's no way to really defend yourself from lies that you can't see. Another case in point, what if you date somebody? What if you truly are a jerk? But what if it was a couple of years back, and since then, what if you've changed? Are people capable of change? Probably not. But there's always a chance that they might. You never know. Could you imagine you've got a girlfriend, but she's literally just a friend, and you pay her money? And the reason you pay her money is because she goes on the T app and leaves like a green light review about you. Says that, you're really athletic build, you're like dating an 18-year-old, right? You've got a lot of money and class, right? But again, I would feel that would be suspect. If you're dating this guy and he's green lit, why the hell did you let him go? Why aren't you breaking down his door to get him back, And then again, like I said, if you dated him, I want to know your sexual background. Do you have any diseases? That's the thing that's so horrible. In my opinion, you're better off not knowing a person's past from a standpoint that this is not going to help you avoid creepy people. And that's not why girls are going on there. Girls are going on there to find out whatever news they want to, but their number one thought is not, let's find out who's creepy or not. I heard a video once, and I'd love to know your guys' opinion on this. If a guy goes up to a girl and he hits on her, right, asks her for her number and if she'd like to go out, if he's good looking and attractive to her, then he's charismatic and he's a really sexy guy, right? But if he's unattractive to her, doesn't check those boxes, he's labeled as a creep and a SA type person, right? Someone that's harassing somebody. Do you guys think that's true? Because I do think that's true. If a guy is attractive in a woman's eyes, that guy could be the weirdest, creepiest guy ever. And before you know it, she's giggling and, going back to the guy's room with him, right? We've all seen situations like that because a lot of us have friends who are dating that guy that really seems kind of creepy and odd. What it was is when he asked her out, she thought he was appealing. And by the way, that really is kind of shitty, but it is absolutely true. The only difference between creeps and bona fide guys out there that women like dating is basically their looks. I have a feeling that even the good-looking guys, if they get a couple of turn downs or rejections in a row, all of a sudden they're tripping over their words too, and all of a sudden they don't sound like such a Casanova. Isn't that amazing what confidence does for us? Guys, I didn't tell you this before, but that's another reason why I like to walk. Sometimes life is a series of streaks. Are things going your way? Then your confidence is going to be high. If things aren't going your way, your confidence can lower itself really easily and really quickly. One of the best ways to kind of take back the power when it comes to your confidence is something like a walk. Don't sweat the small stuff, and most of it is small stuff. If somebody likes you, hey, that's wonderful. Odds are you're going to find something you don't like about them, right? And even if both of you like each other, odds are it's not going to work out for the long term, right? We all know the math. So with that being said, if somebody likes you, great. If somebody doesn't like you, no big deal. There's other fish in the sea. And yes, I could tell you till I'm blue in the face that all the women nowadays are sexually out there. They're having a ton of sex, and all the guys are having none. But we all know that everybody's different. I'm sure there's still some guys out there that are finding a way to get laid, and I'm sure there's still women out there that are waiting till they get married. We all know some people like this. So I want you to know that when I'm talking about generalities, I'm literally talking about in general stuff. I'm not talking about everybody by any means. So if you're one of these guys that's hoping one day to meet, a perfect woman, or if you're a woman hoping to meet Mr. Right, that can happen for you. Yes, the odds are low, but it can happen, and I don't want to break anybody's hopes on that. So if you are a good person, stay a good person. Save yourself for your husband and wife, or if you're going to have sex before you get married to your husband and wife, at least try to limit your partners so you're not such a petri dish. That's what's so gross. I feel bad for those guys that are going to get married in their 30s to a partner that has 1 million partners. And I would feel bad for women that get married to guys that have 1 million partners too. Quit being so dirty. Starting my reaction channel. It's called React with Jesse. I'm going to do a reaction once a week. I'm going to try to put a little thought behind the show. So if any of you guys want to subscribe to that other channel, you can. But the main reason that I'm separating the two is I feel like with this channel, people watch the walk more than the reaction. And I'd rather just have them on 2 different channels. There, I told you, if you guys want to go subscribe. At Graham Dove says, it looks like this could be the last nail in the coffin for relationships today. More guys will walk away now than ever. So the site got hacked. I think they're going to be taking down the site. I don't think the site should be up. That's one of those things where you're literally having people say slanderous things about other people, and they're not there to be able to defend themselves. I go on this Facebook app. You can date people in your Facebook network. As crazy as that sounds. You guys have seen it, I'm sure. And you go on there, and you go on someone's profile, and it'll actually tell you what other people they dated thought of them. And it's weird because, again, it's almost like everyone you date is actively trying to date as many people as they can, and it just comes across as really awkward. I don't want to know what other people think. Now, with a movie, yes, I want to know what you thought of a movie because I don't want to go blow 10, 15 bucks at the movies, right? But when it comes to dating, we really should give people a chance without talking to their ex. If you want to meet their family members, see what their parents are like, because maybe that'll give you an idea of your future with that person, that's a good idea. But I don't want to know about a person based on what their ex thought of them. Because I know what guys say when they break up with somebody. Oh, that bitch, she cheated, she did this. It could very well be true, but I'd rather find out on my own. Oh my God, dating must be such a nightmare right now. It's almost as if the aliens want us to be single. A couple years back, there was a website that went down. I think it was called like Ashley Madison. Help me out here, guys. It was basically people that were actively trying to cheat on their husbands and wives. What a horrible website. Supposedly that one got hacked too. Here's the crazy thing. People should not want to be a part of these websites. Why are people so into doing the wrong thing in life? It's really scary. At Ghost Dragon says, I always side-eye this type of app. You can say anything about a man with zero fact-checking. What about lies? I know there are some people that when you break up with them, they instantly become your enemy. And just like that saying says that all's fair in love and war, these are the type of people that'll go right on an app like that and literally make stuff up about you. I think it's horrible. Apparently it's legal, but I still think it's horrible. Mr. Boring Man says it's a revenge app for undesirable women. They were showing some pictures of women that got leaked on there because you have to upload a picture to prove that you're not male. And these women were balding, and these women had mustaches and beards, and I don't mean because they were transitioning. I mean, they just had they had a lot of things that were making them less than perfect. How do you think women would handle it if they knew there was a male website out there that did the same thing? And by the way, there was a male website. Apparently it already got taken down. Right here, the next person says, if men had an app where we could post anything about any women, it would be shut down. They did. I think it was called TBorn, and it got shut down immediately. Matthew Ronson says, T equals tell everything always. It need not be true. It's just electronic gossip. Another reason to take a walk. No matter what you do in life, sometimes people are just going to talk poop about you. You just got to let it go in one ear and out the other, because you got to be happy with yourself, because there's always going to be somebody that's got it out for you. With that being said, thank you for walking with me. Again, I'm going to be starting up a reaction channel called React with Jesse. If you guys want to subscribe, great. If not, don't. I don't want you to subscribe unless you're going to watch. With that being said, I hope you hit the thumbs up button, and I hope you come back again tomorrow. Remember, the point to the walk is the walk itself. The walk must go on. The walk must go on. It's kind of hot out here. I'll see you tomorrow.